Welcome back. President-elect Donald Trump's lawyers are citing Hunter Biden's pardon to dismiss Trump's New York hush money case. Trump's lawyers say that Biden's claim that cases against Hunter were infected by raw politics echo the president-elect's argument that the charges brought against Trump by the Manhattan DA's office were also politically motivated. Joining us now is Trump-Vance transition senior advisor Jason Miller. Jason, great to see you.
Morning.
Thank you so much for being here. So walk us through this. I mean, obviously, much of the charges against President Trump have gone away, but this hush money case, his lawyers want that to go away now as well after Hunter Biden was pardoned.
As it should, Maria. All of these cases were politically motivated, and the American public saw right through it. They saw that this was the weaponization of our legal system against President Trump. By the way, we've never seen something like this in American history. President Trump did nothing wrong. I think that was very clearly stated, very clearly made. And so it's right for the president's attorneys to follow up and say this should go away.
And it's incredible to me that there are so many Democrat governors and still, haters out there who are still promising to resist President Trump's agenda.
Well, I think some of the folks, they can just never be helped. But what I would caution them on is the fact that President Trump won the popular vote in this election. He put up record numbers in states that traditionally are viewed as blue states. The amount of support that President Trump has from blue cities, blue states, I would really caution some of these governors to pause and think about that, because while President Trump's trying to make the economy and secure the border better for everybody, they shouldn't be fighting against that.
So let's talk about the agenda and some of these nominations. President Trump's pick to run the Drug Enforcement Administration, Hillsborough County, Florida Sheriff Chad Kushner withdrew his name from consideration last night after receiving criticism over his COVID policies. The Wall Street Journal also reporting that Trump is now considering replacing nominee for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis served as a Navy lawyer in Iraq and the Guantanamo Bay detention facility and was on an earlier shortlist of potential Defense Secretary candidates. Trump's cabinet nominees, including Hegseth, have been making the rounds on Capitol Hill. Trump's pick to run the Treasury, Scott Bessent, reportedly will meet with Republican senators today. Pam Bondi and Linda McMahon holding meetings this week as well with senators. Meanwhile, DOJ co-leaders Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy set to speak with GOP lawmakers on Capitol Hill tomorrow to talk about cutting costs. Talk to us about the Trump-Vance transition and your expectations for Senate confirmations.
Well, I love these picks that the president has put forward, and especially when you look at where we are in 2024 versus 2016, President Trump is so far ahead of the curve. And especially when you think about the economic folks that he's put in. You have Scott Bessent at Treasury, Howard Lutnick at Commerce, even inside the West Wing, where you have Kevin Hassett at NEC and then Jameson Greer across the street at USTR. These folks are powerhouses. These are the people that are going to get the economy back on track, do something about the Bidenflation that we've been dealing with over the past 4 years. And with the cabinet that the president is putting forward, I think it's really notable just how talented and qualified they are. We've never had an incoming administration like this ready to hit the ground running. In fact, you look at the way foreign leaders are coming to visit President Trump, the way that everybody is taking note of him essentially resuming the presidency. He's ready to go on day one. We talked about the executive orders will be put in place with regard to securing the border and, of course, drill, baby, drill. He's ready. This team is ready. We've never seen anything like it.
Is he seriously considering replacing Pete Hegseth with Ron DeSantis?
Well, as you know, Maria, and I've probably said this to you 100 times, until we hear it from President Trump, then it's all just chatter. Here's the important point, though. It's going to be President Trump that's picking the next DOD secretary, not Kamala Harris. So it's going to be somebody who's going to respect our country, respect our military, make sure that we keep our country and our people safe, but not be the world cops going all around trying to get involved everywhere, as opposed to Kamala Harris, who'd put some DEI-loving woke general in charge of the DOD, which we don't want.
Fair point. I got to get your take on the agenda, though, Jason. When I saw President Trump over the weekend, and when I was talking with President, Lindsey Graham came over as well. He was there, and he told me that he is going to focus first on the border, then on then on eliminating the green policies and drill, baby, drill, and tapping into our energy capacity, and then tax cuts later. I mean, look, you're right. President Trump won the popular vote. He, won all the swing states, and this was a decisive victory. People voted for the extension of those tax cuts. Why are we waiting until the end of next year to get that through reconciliation? Do you think people are going to be disappointed by that?
I think there's going to be a lot more quicker movement with regard to that. Now, some of the things, of course, are executive orders. When we talk about the border, you talk about energy exploration, knocking off this Green New Scam nonsense. But keep in mind that with the tax cuts, we had a lot of new promises that were made on the campaign trail that we have to incorporate in.
Yeah, no new.
And especially when you're talking about something like the tax code, there's a process that goes through on Capitol Hill. It's not an executive order. And with all the different new things that are coming forward, plus re-upping the tax cuts we had before, we're going to not only keep the tax cuts from 2017, we're going to make sure we bring down everybody's taxes. That's going to be the net result, but you have to work with Congress on that. That's just the way it works.
This is a fair point. That's a great answer there. All right, I got to get your take on Mark Zuckerberg. Meta's president of global affairs said earlier this week that the company's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, is seeking, quote unquote, an active role in shaping technology policy with the incoming Trump administration. This after Zuckerberg reportedly met with Trump for the Thanksgiving Eve dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Jason, look, a lot of people are still mad at this guy because he censored so much information over COVID, working with 1,000 people in government, according to the Twitter files, working with them to censor information that the American people wanted to talk about and learn about during COVID. And now, is he going to get an active role in developing tech policy with President Trump?
So two things can be true at the same time here. We know from President Trump and the way he governed in his first term that he likes to build a broad coalition, bring people together, even if they've been against him in the past. He never forgets. And I would just remind people of that. We talk about the censorship that we've seen in the past. Obviously, we had the drop boxes in 2020 and all of that nonsense. So President Trump will build those coalitions, but I would just caution people that President Trump has a long memory.
Okay. Good point, because I know President Trump was also upset that there was so much censorship going on. But to hear from Mark Zuckerberg that he wants an active role, what might that look like? I mean, Elon Musk has obviously been a great influence for President Trump. What does President Trump want to do with regard to shaping tech policy?
Well, and by the way, it's not just Zuckerberg. You see all the CEOs that are coming to Mar-a-Lago, again, referencing the foreign leaders that are coming in. Everybody wants to be a part of this administration because they know that it's going to take off like a rocket ship. And so with regard to Zuckerberg, I wouldn't go necessarily define a role like that, but we know the president doesn't necessarily have to have committees or people inside the building. He's on the phone. He's going to call CEOs and tech leaders and business leaders and foreign leaders directly. That's why he's able to get things done so quick, because he knows how to cut through the nonsense and the staff and all the noise and just go right to the source. So if we can get some support and cooperation from whether it be Zuckerberg or any other CEO that's previously not supported the president, then great, let's bring them all on board. But again, there's the one person who's making those decisions. That's President Trump.
All right, we will leave it there. Jason, it's great to see you.
Hey, thank you.
We'll be watching your work. Thanks so much. Jason Miller here.